Shalom. First and foremost, I like to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostle elders, a great millstone who rule well. And salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word in love, truth, sincerity, and humility. Once again, it's the brother Shot there from the Chicago camp, coming back to you with what I hope is another quick and edifying sit down. And this is on the Common Sense Show with Dave Hodges, and he's going to talk about a new House bill that hasn't been passed yet, but it's in the works of most likely getting passed. So we're going to play this video and then get some scripture.
This bill that's been introduced, and it has not passed, but this bill that was introduced would give Biden dictatorial powers over the country. And he would have the military at his disposal in violation of posse comitatus. I think this bill is unconstitutional on its face. There's no congressional oversight provided in this bill. This part I know. I haven't read enough of it to give you everything, and we're going to actually work on that between now and the next TV show the Doug and Dave Intel Report does, and we're going to try to find out more. But I understand the preliminaries pretty clearly. And let me just go over Executive Order 13603, and you'll be pretty well briefed on what I think is coming. One is the government seizes control and ownership of all food. They will place limits on what you can own. They'll call it anti-hoarding provisions. Also, they control all energy, all transportation, everything related to the farm process they will own. It's been nationalized if this were to pass. The other thing that we know about Executive Order 13603 is they can conscript civilian labor brigades and send them to effectively concentration camps. Don't know what the fate will be when they get there for sure, but they can. The Executive Order 13603 says this: they can conscript people without pay of high abilities. That's slave labor, folks. Look it up, Section 510. You can go to our website, put in the search term, and come up with it. It's all there. Just Google 13603. It's not 33 pages long. You can get through this pretty easily. But this is the foundation for this new martial law. But there'll be more, because times have changed in the last 11 years since Obama issued this executive order. I wrote about it many times because I was fearful the government would act on it, we'd be under extreme martial law, blah, 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 blah. This is related to, in my humble opinion, do you remember when Biden said last week, we need more money. We need more money for the vaccines. We need more money because there's going to be a second pandemic. Remember that comment? Oh my gosh, and the press secretary just brushes that question off. They won't talk about it, and Biden won't let it be brought up again. But he said it. First of all, I don't know how he knows. But secondly, if you knew something really bad was coming, wouldn't this be what you wanted to do with your population? Lock them down, lock them away so they can't be a threat to society? I don't know where the truth lies in this, but what I can tell you is this: is that this bill on its face is unconstitutional, has no place in American society. We rule by the rule of law and three co-equal branches of government. They don't get to pass laws that said, no, we're taking away Congress's power for Joe Biden's benefit. No, that's not acceptable at all. But I thought you ought to know, and I think you need to be paying attention, because I'm sure both myself and my colleagues are going to be doing a lot more in-depth investigation on this. That's it for the Common Sense Show. Please share this far and wide. Thumbs up, like us. Make sure you're a member of the Common Sense Show.
So basically, this bill that they're working on to get passed is going to give, I'll just say, the president basically absolute control. It will literally give the president absolute control. A president will not have to answer to anybody, and he can use all resources at his disposal for whatever means he or she sees fit. That should let you know that when things really get bad, they're trying to put everything in place for when things do get bad. Everything is already set up to get to just get things moving. Okay, and see, this all goes into Revelation 12:12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." Because if you haven't noticed, in the last, let's say, 40 years or so, the most egregious and most insane laws that under any peaceful circumstance that people would not that people would normally object to, they get passed during times of so-called crisis moments. And you heard what Dave said. Oh, we need more money. We need more money for vaccines. Well, because we're going to have another event. And of course, you're going to need the military to enforce such draconian legislation by any means necessary. So, naturally, Joe or whoever the president is going to be when this comes, they're going to need to be able to move without impunity. And these, like I said, these guys know that they got to wrap this thing up. There's too much truth coming out. Way too much truth coming out. That's why it says, and what's that, second Ezra? Mm, 6:27. It says, "For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which hath been so long without fruit shall be declared." And this is the reason why the House, the Senate, all right, the presidents are making all these executive orders, or they're putting into law things that will be useful under a crisis situation. See, folks think that because everything is good, it's going to stay this way, and things are going to get back to normal. But the laws that they are drafting, what they have shown you over the past 2 years, the rhetoric that they're talking about should let you know that things are not about to go back to normal. And a huge reason why things are not going to go back to normal is because the truth is coming out. And the more that this truth is coming out, the quicker this devil's reign on the earth is coming to an end. This is the main reason why they're scurrying to draft this legislation that will be effective during a crisis situation. That's the main reason. Because if they just sit there and do nothing, then folks will just keep waking up and waking up and waking up, and then poof, next thing you know, all their power will be gone. But you all know bad Uncle Esau ain't going out like that. He's going to make it to where his word, his word of law will be absolute, and violation of that law will be met with the blessing, his blessing, the sword. As you go to Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 11, it says, let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. Because you better believe these elites are not going to be living that way. You think these elites care about the Juicy J? All right. The G5480, a sinking economy, martial law, starvation, the purge. You think they're worried about stuff like? No, they're not worried about stuff like that. They're going to be safe in their homes, on islands. They're going to be safe in their bunkers. Wherever they go, they're going to be safe. So they're not worried about all this stuff. They're not worried about the law. But guess who should be worried about it? You low-level people. Because if you don't do as they say in that time, you will be catching hell, especially if you're not an Israelite, and especially if you're not a man of the Lord. Because at least an Israelite has a chance. But if you one of the heathen nations, it's going to be a wrap. So that's all I wanted to say on this. Just something real quick. Hope you all were edified. Till the next time, we're going to say shalom.